today's topic, that is the skeletal system. Okay, this means today we will know the completely about the bones. That how much bones that is present in our body. How much bones happens in our body. And in which part how much bones happen. This means today we will take the complete knowledge before birth, at the time of birth, after birth, what is the amount, what is the quantities of bones, what is the number of bones. Okay, so first, that is the bones before birth. When we are present in stomach of mother, at that time when we are present in stomach of mother, okay, this means in the language of life science we can say this, that in that time when we are present in uterus, okay, at that time number of bones in our body is 306 bones. But it is a matter of that time when we are present in the uterus, this means in the stomach. But when at time of birth, number of bones at time of birth, at birth 217. When we are not present at birth, this means कि outside of the stomach, when we comes out of the stomach, this means we are present in the earth, not in the stomach, not in the uterus of mother. Okay, we are present in the earth. Yes, it is reality that in this time I am a neonatal baby. We are neonatal, but we are present in this earth, not in the uterus and stomach. At that time, number of bones is 270. 270. And in the adult, now we are adult. In this time, number of bones is 206. Okay, number of bones is 206 in adult. In prenatal life, number of bones is 306. At birth, 270. And in adult, number of bone is 206. This is a complete the ratio of bones. But how bones is decreases? Matters this start in the before birth, number of bone is 306. But at the time of birth, at birth, when you are present in earth from the stomach, at that time number of bone is 270. How this decreases? What happened that bones which is saved, that is 36 bone, what happened of 36 bone? Only 270 bone is present. Where goes 36 bone? Then after in the adult 206 bone happened. Where go these bones? Then this bone, many bones is fused and bones one bone and make one bones. Many bones fuse to each other and make one bones. If two bones, three bones is fused from each other, then this is count only one bones, not two bones after the fusion. Okay, so this is the number which you are seeing, that is the decreases number of bones, that bones is fused from the each other. After that, this number is decreases, not in the reality decreases, that is fused from each other. Due to fuse, this is the counting only one bones from the two bones. Due to fused, this is count only one bones. Okay, this is the matter. Never forget that number of bones before birth is 306, at birth 270, and in adult, this means this time we have 206 bones. We are adult. We have 206 bones. Okay. After that, the division of a skeletal system. That means we know that in the adult life 206 bone is present in us. But in which part, how much blood is present? This is a very necessary matter to know, to come here. That we are divided our body, a skeletal system, into the two parts. We are divided our skeletal system into two parts. One part is the axial skeleton, another part is the appendicular skeleton. Axial skeleton that contains 80 bones, and appendicular skeleton that contains 126 bones. If you add 126 bones and 80 bones, then you can got 206 bones. But after fusion, after time to time, bones is fuses from each other, and number of bones decreases. Okay, so this is in the axial skeleton 80 bones present, and in appendicular skeleton 126 bone present. When you add 80 bones and 126 bones, this means when you add axial bones and appendicular bones, then you got 306 bones.
206 bones.
And where in the axial skeleton 80 bones is present, but what is the part, which part that is present in axial skeleton? In the axial skeleton is also divided. Axial skeleton is also divided. This is part of axial skeleton is also present here. That is the scule. First is scule. Okay, scule. In that 22 bones present. Okay, scule. In the scule, this is the scule. And in scule 22 present, and scule 22 bones present in scule, and scule is also divided into the two parts. One is the cranium part and other is the face part. What is the cranium? Cranium is called the brain box, because in the cranium brain is present. Cranium is the cover of a brain, and scule is also, that is the hardest cover of brain. Okay, so cranium is the brain box, because cranium is present, brain is present inside the cranium. Cranium is outside layer of brain. Due to this, cranium is called brain box, and in the cranium 8 bones present. And face, which you are seeing now, on that here and this face, 14 bones present. When you add 14 bones and 8 bones, then you can got 22 bones. So this is the number of bones in a scule. In a scule 22 bones present. After that, ribs. In that 24 bones present. Okay, because rib is 12 pair. Okay, vertebra. In the vertebra 26 bones present. Now in the next classes we will discuss separately all such as scule, ribs, vertebra, hyoid, sternum, ear, oscus, or we will different in more, we will take the more knowledge in one topic, such as scule is a topic. We will take the completely knowledge about the scule, where 22 bones is present. And if in the cranium 8 bones is present, then where 8 bones is present? Which part is present in the cranium, and that place 8 bone is present? We will take the knowledge in the next classes about this. Okay. First, you know that in the skull 22 bones present, and skull is divided into two parts. One part is cranium, another part is face. In the cranium 8 bone is present, and face and 14 bone is present. Cranium, that is the brain box, because brain is present in this. Okay. After that, ribs. In the ribs 24 bones. Vertebra 26 bones. Hyoid 1 bones. Here hyoid is present. Okay. And hyoid is 1 bone. Sternum is made by also 1 bone, because sternum is the breast bone. Okay. Sternum is a breast bone, and sternum is also made by 1 bone. Okay. Ear ossicles means osteo means bone. From the osteo word, ossicles is mad. Ear ossicles means this means ear bones. Each ear has 3 bones present, and we are humans and we have 2 ears present. We are mammals, and mammals have 2 ears present. And if in 1 ear 3 bones is present, then in 2 ears 6 bones is present. And that, so ear ossicles is 6 bone. Okay. What is the name of that bone? In each ear 3 bones present. Malleus, incus, and stapes. This means each ear 3 bones present: malleus, incus, and stapes. And also 3 bones, malleus, incus, stapes, is present in the other ear. So due to this, we says that ear ossicles is made by 6 bones. Because we have 2 pairs. Because we have 1 pair of ear. Okay. So this is the axial skeleton. And in the completely axial skeleton, this is the part of axial skeleton, members of axial skeleton. And in axial skeleton, completely 80 bones present. Next part, that is the appendicular skeleton, and in the appendicular skeleton 126 bones present. How can we say that in the appendicular skeleton 126 bones present? Not only says, never only I says, we give proof. You can see here. Okay, and you can see also in your body that appendicular skeleton is divided into 2 parts. One part is girdle part, another part is the limbs. One part is girdle parts, another part is the limbs. Girdle part, in which 6 bones present. In the girdle part 6 bones is present, and girdle part is also divided into 2 parts. One part is the pectoral. This means shoulder part, in which 4 bones present. Okay, why? Each we have 1 pair of shoulder, and 1 shoulder have 2 bones. So 1 pair shoulder have 4 bones. Okay. Pelvic part, this means hip part. Hip has 2 bones present. In the pelvic hip, 2 bones present. By this way, if you add 4 bones of the pectoral or shoulders and pelvic or hip up 2 bones, when we add, then this is the part of girdle, so 6 bones is present in the girdles. After that will come in the limbs, in which 120 bones is present. Limb is divided into 2 parts, forelimb and hind limb. Forelimb, that is the part of hand. In each hand 30 bones is present. Okay, in each hand 30 bones is present, and we have 1 pair of hand. So in one pair of hand 60 bones is present. This means in the forelimb 60 bones is present. By this you can understand that in each bone, each each limb has 30 bones. Each limb has 30 bones. Each forelimb had 30 bones. So we have one pair of forelimb. So we have 60 bones in the forelimb. And hind limb, that is the bones of leg. Okay. Each leg has 30 bones. And we have one pair of legs. So 60 bones in legs and 60 bones in hands. By this way, 120 bones is present in limbs. Okay, so this is the completely number of bones, that is 306.
206.
Okay? And how this decreases and comes in adult 206 bones, we will tell you according to classes. Okay, but you can understand this, that due to fusion, more bones fuses from each other. One bone, two bone, three bones fuses from each other, and that bones count only one bones, not two bones and three bones. Due to this, that number is decreases, and in the adult comes on 206. Okay, so this is the completely number of bones. A skeletal system, division of a skeletal system. Okay, finally you understand that this is the number of bones that is present in human body. Okay,
Next.
skull is made by 22 bones, and in the skull, cranium that is made by 8 bones, and face bone is 40 bones. Face that is made by 14 bones. 14 bones. Okay. A skeletal that is, this means ki cranium that is made by 8 bones, and face that is made by 14 bones. So now that is the cranium that is made by 8 bones. Where 8 bones is, which 8 bones is happen in the cranium? You know good way, that is the cranium. Cranium, that is the brain box in which brain present. Okay. Now that cranium is made by 8 bones, and cranium is formed cranial cavity for lodging of brain. This means for percent of brain in which cranial cavity brain is present. Okay, this means ki cranium form cranial cavity for lodging of brain. This means ki in the cranial cavity, this is the cranial cavity, or in the cranium cavity brain is present. Okay, and this outside, we see here, you are seeing the fingers. This outside is the cranium, and inside a space is made, a cavity is made, and this cavity is called cranium cavity for lodging of brain. Okay, next, that is the in cranial bones. Cranial bones, that is frontal bone. One frontal bone is present that form head, forehead. Okay, that form forehead. This means one frontal bone is present. Okay, second, that is one pair parietal bone. What is where parietal bone is present? Parietal form roof of cranial cavity. Okay, parietal form roof of cranial cavity. So frontal one bone, parietal two bone. Proton that is present forehead. Parietal that form roof of cranial cavity. So two bones. Okay. Frontal one bone, parietal two bones. Three bones. Okay. Third, that is the temporal. Temporal is also one pair and it is present. This means temporal forms side wall of cranial cavity. This is the cranial cavity from the upper side. This means upper of cranial cavity, parietal bone present. This is parietal bone for roof of cranial cavity. Okay. And temporal that form side wall of cranial cavity is formed by temporal bone that form side wall of cranial cavity, that is one pair, left side one and other right side one bone. So temporal bone is one pair and that forms side of cranial cavity, and parietal that is one, parietal bone number is one, that is from roof of cranial cavity. Okay. And this temporal that forms side wall of cranial cavity that covers, this temporal covers middle plus internal ear. Okay. Occipital bone is number also 1. Sphenoid bone number is 1. Sphenoid bone's shape is butterfly shape. Sphenoid bone shape is butterfly shape. And last, that is the ethmoid bone. This is also 1. By this way you can got that in the cranium bones. Cranium is made by 8 bones. 1 is frontal, 2 is parietal, temporal bone is 2, occipital 1, sphenoid 1, ethmoid 1. By you can got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bones is present in cranium. This is cranium is bound by, cranium is formed by 8 bones. Okay, and facial bone is 14 bones. After that you can understand that skull that is made by 22 bones. So next, that is the face bones that is made by face, that face is made by 14 bones. Okay, next that is the face bone, and face bone that is formed by 14 bones. Where 14 bones is present in the face, you can see here that in the nasal. Nasal means nose. Nasal means nose. If matter is comes of the nasal, then you understand the nasal means nose, and nasal cavity, this means a space of the nose. Okay. Here we are saying that in the nasal, this means in the nose, 2 bones is present. In the nasal, 2 bones present. And which 2 bones is present in nasal? That form bony part of nose. 2 bones present in nasal that form bony part of nose. Okay. Vomer. That is vomer is present below nasal bone. Nasal means nose. This means vomer is present below nose bone, nasal bone, and its number is 1. Not only vomer, but inferior terminals, its number is 2. And vomer's number is 1, and inferior terminals, bone's number is 2. Okay, and vomer, this is the name of bones. Vomer's and inferior terminals present below nasal bone. Vomer and inferior terminals present below nasal bone. Maxilla. In the maxilla, two bones present, and this maxilla form upper jaw. Maxilla form upper jaw, and maxilla is formed by two bones. Lacrimal, you know, and you, if you don't know, then know now that lacrimal. From the lacrimal gland, tears is secreted from the eyes. From the, if you weep, at the time tears is secreted from your eyes. That tears is secreted by lacrimal gland. This means lacrimal, its number is 2. Lacrimal, in the lacrimal 2 bone is present. Okay, and platin that is present in hard plate behind maxilla, and its number is 2. In the platin 2 bone is present, and where platin is present? So platin is present in hard plate behind maxilla. Okay, this is the zygomatic and also called molar bones, and zygomatic or molar bones, its number is 2. This is the upper part. This part which are you seeing now, this part is called the zygomatic. This means the prominence part which now you are seeing. This prominence part of cheek is called zygomatic, so it's also called cheekbone. Okay, this is the prominent part of cheek is zygomatic bones, so it's also called cheekbones because this bones is present in cheek. Okay, so zygomatic bones is also called cheekbones. Next, that is the mandible. Mandible, number of bone is 1. Okay, this mandible form lower jaw, and it is very necessary to know that mandible, in the mandible number of bone is 1, and mandible form lower jaw. Okay, mandible form lower jaw, maxilla form upper jaw. Maxilla form upper jaw, mandible form lower jaw, and this mandible articulate with temporal bone. Where temporal bone is present? That temporal bone is present side of cranial cavity. Okay, side part of cranium. This is the cranium cavity inside. This is the cranium part, and side part of cranium is called temporal bone, and this mandible articulate with temporal bone, and it's called craniostylic jaw. Craniostylic jaw, mandible form lower jaw. By this way, you have known that in the skull 22 bones present, and skull is divided into 2 parts. One is the cranium part, and other is the face part. Cranium part that is made by 8 bones, and face part that is made by 14 bones. And you have taken the completely knowledge of that bones, 8 bones of the cranium and 14 bones of the face. You have known. Okay.
Next.
Is first about the hyoid bone. That's number is 1. And second about the ear ossicles. This means ear bones. That's number is 6, including both ear. First about the hyoid bone. Hyoid bone, that shape is U-shaped. Okay, hyoid is U-shaped. Okay, and that hyoid that is present below tongue between lower jaw and larynx. Okay. Hyoid, that's number is hyoid bone number is 1. That shape is U. Okay. And that is present below tongue between lower jaw and larynx. Okay. Hyoid bone is present between lower jaw and larynx. Hyoid bone is a single bone that is not attached from any endoskeleton bone, any other bone. Okay. This means that hyoid is a single bone of endoskeleton without articulate. Articulate means attached. Without articulate, without attached with any other bone. Hyoid bone is a single bone of endoskeleton that is not attached, not articulate with any bone. Okay. Second, then about the ear ossicles. Ossicles means bone. This means about the ear bone, including in one ear 3 bones present, and including both ears 6 bones present. This means in the ear ossicles number of bone is 6. Malleus, incus and stapes. Okay. Malleus, incus and stapes. This means each ear 3 bone is present, that is malleus, incus and stapes. Shape of malleus, that is like hammer shape. Okay. Malleus bone shape like hammer. This means malleus bone shape is hammer shape. Of incus, that shape like the anvil. Anvil shaped. Okay. And third bone, that is the stapes. That is the also a smallest bone, and that shape is stirrup shape. Okay. Incus bone that is present in the ear, that shape is stirrup shape. And stapes is the smallest bone of endoskeleton. Stapes is the smallest bone of endoskeleton. This is the knowledge about the hyoid bone and ear ossicles. Okay? Thank you.
अपनी सपने कीजिए साकार, अपने सपने कीजिए साकार। सफलता कर रही है आपका इंतजार। जी